हेलो गाइस। आप सबका स्वागत है अपने चैनल पे। मैं हूँ देवा और मैं आपके लिए लाया हूँ डिस्क्रीट मैथमेटिक्स की सीरीज। इन दिस सीरीज हम रिलेशन, रेकरेंस रिलेशन, काउंटिंग प्रॉब्लम्स, फंक्शन, सेट, मैट्रिसेस, ग्राफ, ट्रीज सिंपल वे में देखेंगे। Let's start with discrete mathematics introduction. We also call DM or for a discrete mathematics, like it is the short form of a discrete mathematics. First we see data. Data basically होता क्या है? It is the information in raw or unorganized form. लाइक साइंटिस्ट एक्सपेरिमेंट करते हैं, उन्हें कुछ आउटपुट एज ए इंफॉर्मेशन मिलते हैं, वो रॉ फॉर्म में होते हैं, उसके बाद उसको अरेंज एंड देन ऑब्जर्व किया जाता है फॉर अवर कंक्लूजन एंड एज अ आउटपुट. Data is divided into two parts. First is a qualitative data and second is a quantitative data. Again, quantitative data further divided into two parts. First is discrete data and second is continuous data. First we see qualitative data. हम इसके नाम से ही समझ सकते हैं कि क्वालिटेटिव डेटा डिस्क्राइब्स द क्वालिटी एंड इट इज डिस्क्राइब्ड इन अ वर्ड्स. हियर वी सी दैट like a Steven, Victoria, Hema is the quality of names of people. Then next consider one example. A one car having three colors, red, blue and yellow. These colors of cars, it is the quality. Then human have gender male and female. Basically male and female also the quality of gender of humans. नाउ वी सी क्वांटिटेटिव डेटा. हम इसके भी नाम से ही समझ सकते हैं कि क्वांटिटेटिव डेटा डिस्क्राइब्स द क्वांटिटी एंड इट इज द डिस्क्राइब्ड इन नंबर्स. हियर वी से दैट example ages 13, 31, 15. It is in a numbers. That's why it is the example of quantitative data. Another example is three peoples having income 25,000 rupees, $70,000 and 40,000 rupees. It's described the quantity of income and it is described in a number. That's why it is the example of quantitative data. Another example is a length 155 centimeters, 6 feet or 15 inches. It is in a numbers. That's why it is the example of quantitative data. Means qualitative data describes the quality and it is in a words, and quantitative data describes the quality and it is described in a numbers. Here we see the diagram of a qualitative and quantitative data for better understanding. Yeah. Like 31 and 5.3 are the numbers, it is the example of quantitative data. But male and female are in a words, that's why it is the example of qualitative data. Means qualitative data takes words and quantitative data takes numbers. Now we see further types of quantitative data. First is a continuous data and second is discrete data. First we see continuous data. Continuous data takes any values, means real number, because in a real number contains a all number. It is in a infinite number and continuous data is measured. Here we see the examples of a continuous data like 155 centimeters, 6 feet and 15 inches are in a lane, 5 seconds, 2 raised to 3 by 4 minutes and 1.5 hour. 1.5 hour, 2 raised to 3 by 4 are all real numbers, because in a real number contains all numbers. Now we see second type of quantitative data, which is a discrete data. Discrete data can only take a certain values like a whole numbers. It is in a finite numbers and discrete data is a counted. Now we see the example of a discrete data. According to their definition, it takes a only whole number like 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and many more. That's why in an example also we say that all are whole numbers. Here we see the diagram of discrete and continuous data for better understanding. Like 8, 15, 10 or 8, 10, 5. Consider many more like a 3, 5, 7 are in a whole number. That is the example of discrete data. and another diagram is 5 feet 11 inch. So it is the in a continuous because it is in a real number, like we also call 5 feet 11 call as a 5.11 feet. That's why it is the example of continuous data. Means continuous data takes real numbers and discrete data takes whole number. Now we see the difference between the discrete variables and continuous variable. Also we call discrete variable as a discrete data and continuous variable call as a discrete continuous data. So discrete data takes only whole number like 0, 1, 2, 3. So whole number are basically start from 0, 1, 2 and then next. And continuous data takes any values like a real number because in a real number contains all numbers. And discrete variable is a countable and continuous variable is a measuring, also in fractions and decimals. Now we see the examples of the discrete variable like number of children, number of credit cards, number of students are in a whole number like 5 number of students, 5 number of credit cards, 5 number of children. So it is the in a whole numbers. That's why it is the example of discrete variable or discrete data. But when we come in examples of a continuous data or continuous variables, like consider one temperature 37.5 degrees Celsius. So it is in a real number because it contains the decimal point. Also height 5.11 feet. Also example of weight 55.3 kg. All are a real numbers because real number contains all number like 2.5, 3.50, 1, 2, 1 by 5 and any numbers. अब हम डेटा से मैथमेटिक्स में आ चुके हैं. So, continuous mathematics is the same as a continuous data and discrete mathematics is the same as a discrete data. Continuous mathematics also takes a real number and it is in a infinite number and it is a measure. And discrete mathematics takes whole numbers and it is in a finite and it is a counter. So what is the difference between the measuring and the counting we see? So measuring function, it is a use for only real numbers. That's why it is a use in a continuous mathematics. And counting function, it is a use for only for a whole number. That's why it is the example of a discrete mathematics. Like consider a 5 buffaloes. We count them, but we not measure them. Like a 5.5 buffalo. We not say there is a no buffalo because buffalo is died because of 5.5 buffalo. That's why discrete mathematics takes a countable number and continuous mathematics takes a measuring numbers. Consider a one line. Okay, consider one line having 2 points, 5 and 10. So how many numbers in a continuous mathematics? Because there is a many numbers like we say infinite numbers between the 5 and 10 like a 5.1, 5.5, 5.55, 6.10, 7.1, 7.11. So many numbers in a 5 and 10. But when we come in a discrete mathematics, just consider it is a one line and it is a one number 5 and it is another number 10. So how many numbers are in these 5 and 10? Only 6, 7, 8, 9 means there are only 4 numbers are in a 5 and 10. But when we come to a continuous mathematics, there is a infinite numbers. But when we see in a discrete mathematics, there is a 4 number which is finite numbers. Now we see the uses of a discrete mathematics. So basically discrete mathematics का use बहुत जगहों पे होता है like a discrete maths in a cryptography. Second example is computer algorithms. Third example is a maths in a computer science. We see now we are study about the discrete mathematics in a computer science. Count on a calculus. So there is some part of discrete mathematics also is in a calculus, discrete mathematics in a logistics. Archaeology also uses the discrete mathematics to construct a 3D images for a scans of archaeological sites. Like हम कह सकते हैं कि discrete mathematics और a maths आपका कभी साथ नहीं छोड़ के जाएगा। एक बार वो छोड़ के जाएगी, बट मैथमेटिक्स आपको कभी छोड़ के नहीं जाएगा। सो आप अच्छे से पढ़िए मैथमेटिक्स। मैं आपके लिए आज और सीरीज लेके आऊंगा, लाइक कैलकुलस की सीरीज, डाटा स्ट्रक्चर की सीरीज, इन सिंपल वे में। अगर आपको वीडियो अच्छी लगी होगी तो लाइक कीजिए, अपने दोस्तों के साथ शेयर कीजिए, एंड सब्सक्राइब जरूर कीजिए फॉर अपकमिंग सीरीज।